Hey guys, this is part 2 of Lies About S. We're gonna jump right in. Sorry about that. And it says, it can be both harmful and even sinful. I mean, we place a guide on the center along belongs to God and His love. We created an idol in our hearts. Right? A guy has never been expressed unfeeling love and stop trying to be control of getting cute guys instead. You spend your energy running after real sources of satisfactions for the first pursuit of love relationship with Jesus. Not only to satisfy deepest cravings of heart, but someday God is pleased to give you husband and wife picture to you. Powerful, unfailing love. Remember that God did not design marriage first and foremost. He designed the love between us and Him that is portrayed marriage. You can paint a picture of something you haven't seen. Then you're pursuing love relationship with God to allow Him to be controlled whatever He intends for you to paint a picture of it. And through the marriage, when you look in a relationship with the guy to satisfy your deepest longing and setting yourselves in lifetime disappointments and potential disaster. That was Samantha. She was a strong believer and leader in her community and church, and she felt for the lie the husband and boyfriend. I never tend to end up here, and I just want a boyfriend. The one I got seemed amazing to me. He said how he wanted to be pure and wanted a loyal church with me. Early on, I noticed I struggled with some things. It freaked me out. I like DRUGS, but pretty certain I could help overcome them. I was just willing to let get way to have my pre-boyfriend pretty soon as I pulled into. And the next thing I knew, I was a senior year in high school and I was pregnant. I guess that's when I started believing that I would be okay. If we just got married, we loved God, so we were married in a week. I graduated my whole ability since as a run. As Billy worked about 2 years, he left, and so I am now 19. I am an amazing toddler, and I loved her, but life is just well hard. I wish I could go back to my 15-year-old self. I tell myself, you don't have to have a guy. There's no happiness in it. But Song of Solomon is the most romantic book in the Bible. It describes the love relationship between King Solomon and his bride. And 3 times in this passionate love story, a young woman expressing commitment not to stir up awakened love until please 2735 and 84, what a world does not mean. And MacArthur Study Bible explains it means that the Solomon's bride proposed not to awaken love until it pleases. She knows the intensity of her love. Solomon cannot be experienced at the wedding, and she advised her friends to keep and kind of woman regarding as purity. Up to this point, she exciting desires of Solomon to experience and without anticipating purposes and cloud and open, expressing what we go solely up for a married couple. Brides have to be honest love and desire for a man she was going to marry. There's nothing wrong in the desires that God created. But she knows desire can only be a portrait of trust of fulfillment after she is in this man unique covenant and marriage, determines not to be awakened by desire, not to flew into the time they can emulate to be fulfilled. God does not want you to be awakened in love until the time is right. God has a good reason to direct us and not to be awakened in love primarily, being leadership with guys and early often and to an as sin. Research telling that girls who have boyfriends at 7th grade are those most likely to be an ass activity. High schoolers and further being in a relationship with guy 6 months or longer. Is one top 5 factors in leading to early S and activity teenagers a hard time entwining a relationship. You have a hard time sticking and staying their purity. So when is the time right to awaken love and appropriate to start stirring up love? When you are a place of life that you will probably begin thinking and getting married. When God has brought me a man into your life who has already committed himself to you as your husband in a lifetime, your parents and other godly friends and leaders of your life will be able to help you confirm that is a guy. As you walk down the aisle, say, I do. The man God has chosen to be your husband. It's designed to be loved and fully awakened in joy and understand freedom and passion of the glory of God. It's sudden to us to see these teen girls waste time by taking the time and attachment responsibilities. Now come with marriage, and teens agreed when instead they could foster a relationship with Christ. May took her darkness down and changed us as she decided to start using the time that she had to pursue God, to getting to know God instead. I'm completely boy crazy with 10th grade. My parents are worried I wasn't dating a guy pre-S. But I was unsquashable desire to have a boyfriend. My mom helps me plainly something really cool. For my year of my life, and my junior year, I was quite concerned completely with my relationship with God. My addition and daily devotes was spending one week and early one week, just like with him. My heart is focused on him. After 2 months, I was like my guy is one of the best years of high school career. Line 11 is not really S. We really are not purity. My boyfriend and I so are trying to speak out about events and stuff. We tell people that they cannot just do what we do or just have an oral S. We were just friends before I knew it. I was sending these atrocious gaps back and forth because those are sort of electrical friends with benefits and when we never had a real S. Honestly, there was a guy in the youth group who had kissed or touched in some way. Some of them got further than others, but I have a line I won't cross. I never had S. Whoa, these comments are expressing the way most girls think. Well, I don't reflect on the way God thinks. Something less in a way that thinking bring joy and satisfaction in the long run. Ephesians 5:3 hint of S immorally, certainly including actual having S. But the S is sin forbidden, border that should not even be hinting of the S outside marriage bed. You don't have to have physical contact with guys and hint. The S sin. You extend the definition of S sin, including looking at someone loosely after them in Matthew 5:28. You hint at S when you are wearing a low-cut tank top showing off your CL. You hit at S when you post a mainly programmed photo as your profile pic. You hit at S when you need a trashy text message to someone. You hit at S when you look at minimum poor. You hint at S when you're expressing yourself to song and television show. Maybe they use S, humor, and language. Every next verse says, let there be a no, F, or a foolish talk or cruel joking, which are out of place. Ephesians 5:4. According to Jesus, in these areas, mentally and fraudulent canon that you rob of our children, often in preaching. Recently, I dated with college in high school to meet an entire class of middle school girls who caught up in nesting. We've been sitting each other nearly. Sorry, I just covered a few things. I don't want to say anything. Girls being girls. That's why a police officer shows up in their school to tell them they have been by. Here is where you can really isolate technology. Many photos were born were child prunes. In this day, they haven't had any interactions would be charged. So they will only have the way to stay legally date with the girls who are going to classifying them as child, which they had orders to bringing official justice out. God does not want you to get caught up in asking where is that silly photograph or an S photo romantic interest. because he wants to keep your body and your mind, heart, and reputation safe. And the eyes were only areas questioning young women struggling and your hearts breaking. As we hear young women engaging and enjoying the touching inclusive of miscoordination in oral S, and while recognizing that the actually S sin they are. God's sinners fear to hide, rewarding the words and price of self-control. The world tries to tell you the missing out, but really true. You see, God knows the one prune to question and value necessary. And rules wonder what in the world purpose of the one you can be good. Much of each question God's annihilation and tree of knowledge of good and evil. The answer what rules exist and we prosper Deuteronomy 6:24. The flying that lies or seasoning. That God's annihilation and S are given, but a part of thinking and gives fascination that's really true. Social citizenship says it is the one part preliminary study in conducting the S-lives Americans discovering those who are not engaged and appear in exportable marriage and satisfied when further and saved religious activities are among us and as satisfied when God is holding something from you. He wants you to weigh us to experience the greatest possible of S fulfillment in covenant, marriage, as relationship, and marriage with the will for your life one day. We have a lot of women who notice wishes of being willing to wait for God, the timing of His close intimacy, and being caused the painful consequences of doing so. We have known some who made through the choice to wait, standing confident to enjoy benefits of that choice today. So it's gonna be a couple parts of this book. I decided to hold in my breath because I can barely feel my tongue. But other than that, thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in part 3 of Lies About S.